I want to thank you, James, for meeting with me today. I don't know if anything I have will interest you, but I'm going to go through it and we'll see if some of the areas that we work with, which is reducing debt, increasing cash flow, um, uh, saving for financial interest, reducing taxes, and we work with annuities and life insurance, and what all to get where we want to be is to make you financially independent. So if you find a need in what I say, James, I will get back together with you at a later time and we'll work out a plan for you. But there's no money today, so just sit back and listen to what I have to say. I work with Federal Financial Group, which is a group of insurance companies and financial companies that have $1 billion worth of assets and have been in business over 100 years. And we tell you about money and how it works and how do you make it work better for you. Okay? Next, I would like to discuss what's happening right now. Uh, you know, a lot of people have got raises, and maybe you've got one, but our rent and our utilities and our gas and all that has gone up. So inflation has taken care of the money raises that we've had. And so people are retiring. If there was 100 people retiring today, how many do you think would be financially independent? And by that I mean have $35,000 or more to live on a year. Oh, okay, you say 50%? Well, actually, amazingly enough, it's only 4. Can you believe that? Only 4 out of 100. I got a lot of work to do. Um, so, what are the other 96 doing? Well, some of them move in with their children, others live on welfare, and a lot of them are still working. You've seen them at Walmart, being greeters. Do you want to work at Walmart when you're 65 years old? I don't. I'd like to retire. All right. Some of my colleagues went into Wendy's the other day and they found a lady scraping gum off the floor and underneath the table. Now, that isn't a pleasant job, and it isn't something I want to do at 65. So, remember, scraping gum off the floor, this wants you to remember this. I don't want you ever having to do that, and that's why I'm meeting with you today. Okay. Federal Financial has 7 key steps that they mix together, and I'm going to go through them rather quickly. I want you to listen and see if there's something that affects you and that you would like to discuss further, and if so, we'll talk about it. All right, the first step is inspect what you expect. All right, so if you tell me you need $2,000 extra each month to pay for your incidentals, and you are actually spending $3,000, how is that going to work? So we need to know exactly what you're spending in order to make these budget work. The second one is to increase cash flow. Did you get a tax refund last year? You did? Well, how about changing your W-4 and let's get some of that back in your paycheck stuff. All right, the third step is to eliminate debt. And we have this debt eliminator. We ask that you put all your debts in a row, from the largest to the smallest, with the payments, and then you start paying off the smaller one at its minimum payment. If it's $100, you pay $100 until that's paid off, and then you take that $100 and move it to the next one until that's paid off. And by doing it this way, you will pay off your debt in half the time. Okay? That would be neat to have it paid off. All right. And step 4 is to develop an emergency fund. And I can't um, accentuate this, or uh, this is important. It pays for the alternator that went out, the starter, the washer dryer, the refrigerator, all those things that are important. The other thing that I think is important that the emergency fund helps is that if you had a child, say your daughter got real sick and you took her to the emergency room and they wouldn't even look at her because you didn't have $500 to put down for them to look at her. Now that would be a crying shame. So emergency fund should be liquid. It should be in an interest-bearing account. It should make more money than your checking account should. It should be systematic and automatic every month that you have. It shouldn't be under your mattress or in the cookie jar. It should be somewhere where you can get to it, but it's not, it's not like it's in your checking account. You don't want it in your checking account because it's in your checking account. Oh, you'll find every excuse in the world to spend that money. Now, an emergency fund is it for that pizza that you ordered that you don't have money for. You spend it at lunchtime for lunch. And here comes a pizza and you don't have any cash. It is not for that. The fact is, they'll take credit cards for deliveries anymore. The next one, step 5, is protect what you have. All right. You have a nice family of 5, James, and all of a sudden you're gone from the picture. So who's going to pay for the mortgage and the utilities and groceries? Are your kids going to have to live under the bridge or a rescue mission? Not if you protect yourself. And I have seen this happen. I have a friend of mine's son was coming home from work, had an aneurysm, ran into a tree, and was in a coma for over a year. So, if they don't have life insurance, they're living with other family or something. So, and mom has to go back to work. If you have a decent life insurance policy, mom wouldn't have to go back to work. She would be there with the kids. All right. Now we're at step 6, and this is the best one of them all, and most people like this. This is long-term financial independence. It's long-term income and long-term savings. And, there are 2 factors here, and I'm going to get nose to nose with you, and I want you to listen good, get strong with you, because if you don't learn this fact, you becoming financially independent is way out there. So I want you to learn the 2 battles, the battle of inflation, we'll get to in a minute, and the battle of taxes. It's not what you keep. It's not what you earn, it's what you keep. And taxes can hurt you if you're not careful. So we'll go back to inflation. Do you know what the law of 72 is? You don't have a clue? Okay. So I have 72. And if I had 4% interest divided by 72 is 18. That means it'll take you 18 years at 4% interest to double your money. So if I had $100, it'd take 18 years to get 200. It'd take another 18 years to get 400. It'd take another 18 years to get 800. It'd take another 18 years to get 1,600. All right. If we change this, if we had 5%, it would take 15 years. If we had 6, it'd take 12 years. If we had 7%, it'd take 10 years. If we had 8%, it'd be 9 years. If we had 10%, it'd take 7 years. If we had 12%, it'd be 6 years. All right, I'm going to show you how this works. don't have the right page, maybe. Don't have, oh, well, I'll have to draw it out for you if I don't have it with me. All right. We have these two gentlemen that at 29, they put $10,000 in an account. They're both 29, $10,000. This one got 4%, this one got 12. So this one every 18 years, this one every 6. So that by the time this guy is 65, he has $40,000. All right. By the time this one is 65, he has $640,000. Now, look at this. Because this guy didn't obey the rule of inflation, of interest, he lost out on $600,000. And you know that's not what we want you to do. So, if you had $40,000 and you're at 65 and your kids were grown and your house was paid off and you'd like to retire, how long would $40,000 last? Not very long. If you were frugal, maybe a little over a year, but not much longer than that. So we need to do something different here. All right. Now, so where do we get this kind of interest? There's 3 scenarios. Let's talk about them. 3 areas where you get money. All right, I'm going to draw this little chart. This is the banks. You have no loss of principal, no loss of interest, but you get 2 to 3% in money markets and CDs. Over here you have the stock market, which has mutual funds and stocks, but the interest rates go up and down and up and down. You could lose your hat there. Then we have the index strategy, and this follows the S&P. And there's no loss of principal and no loss of interest. And for the last 25 years, it's made 10%. Now, where would you like your money? All right, if you were financially independent, what would you be doing? All right, if you had $10,000 at 10%, you would have 11 after the first year. After the second year, you'd have 12.1. And let's say the stock market tanked 20%. So if you were in the stock market, you would have 9.6. But if you were in the index fund, you'd still have 12.1. And if it went across here for 5 years, they'd come back and give you 2% for each of these years. That's pretty good up there, isn't it? Then if it went back up 15%, you would be locked in here because you cap at 12%, and the insurance company take whatever the other 3%. That's where they make their money. All right. So I'm going to tell you another story about a young man that didn't know about inflation. He's 29 years old. He walks into the bank and says, "Banker, I want to be a millionaire by the time I'm 60. What do I have to put away in order to be financially independent by the time I'm 60? Banker said, $1,640. Back then, you could get 5%, but you can't get that now. The gentleman left the bank. He didn't invest anything. He's now working at Walmart. Now, he's a fine young man, but he didn't save anything. And you have to save on a regular basis. All right, let's put our new 2 rules of inflation. If he could have got 10% for his money, he would have had to put $900 a month away, a $700 savings. But not many of us. I know a few people that could put $900 a month, but you and I couldn't. So the rules of taxes, tax deferred, he might have to put $200 to $300 away. Now you and I possibly could do that if we would curb what we're spending extra and be financially secure by putting a little bit away each month on a regular basis at a decent interest rate. Okay? So, again, let's talk about your dreams and goals. If you were financially independent, what would you be doing? And by financially independent, I'm saying you're doing what you want, when you want, and how you want, because you have the money to do it. Oh, those are good dreams. Good. All right. That was step 6. So let's go on to step 7. Step 7 is estates. And you need a will so your money doesn't go to probate. And your assets go to where you want them to go. And we do want that. We want them to go there. So those are our 7 steps. So let me ask you, between eliminating debt, cash flow increase, life insurance, emergency fund, financial income, and estate planning, which one do you need to work on the most? Okay. You like a long-term financial and life insurance. All right, life insurance. Okay. So I need to ask you some questions. And the questions need to be yes or no, can't be maybe, but these are important to make a financial analysis for you. And you need to be as close as you can so that I can be as close as I can to put something together for you. Okay? So the first question is, do you plan to make a long-term purchase? A car, a boat, a vacation? Okay. All right. Let me ask you this. If I were to make a plan, I gotta tell you, this is going to be really awesome, and you're gonna owe me big time. Oh, but let me tell you how I get paid. What I want you to do, James, is for you to bring back the next time we get together some hot chocolate chip cookies and a cold glass of milk. I was just teasing you. You were getting so serious. No, how I get paid is the insurance company that I hook you up to will pay me a finder's fee or a commission, if you will, and nothing comes out of your pocket. I get paid out of the insurance side and not out of your money. Okay? So, the second question. If I can bring back a package that meets your needs, fits your income, and shows you exactly when you can retire, would we be able to do business together? Oh, yeah. Is there anyone else that needs to be in on this decision? Okay. So, if I can do that for you, do you have a buddy that needs it done too? Okay. Think about it. Find me some names. You might talk to your buddies and see if they're interested at all. And when you bring me back your list, I won't touch that list for a couple of days, giving you time to really talk to them and say, hey, I done this. I give you the name, and she'll be calling. Because I will call, but I give you some days to talk to it, so they know who I am when I call. All right, so what day can we get back together? Tomorrow? How about 4 o'clock? All right. See, that was simple, and it didn't take very long at all. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. And thank you for meeting with me today. Bye.